Hey, what's going on, everybody out there? This is Eddie from the Road Less Travel, aka DJ Deluxe. Hey, thanks for tuning in. And today I want to do I'm gonna do a front shock install. I bought the Elka shocks. I bought these Elka shocks like a year ago, but I just never put them on my machine yet. And as you can see, I have this lifted up, and I just want to talk about, the install. And again, I talked about upgrading the shocks on several of my videos, but I just want to go over how easy it is to replace the shock, especially the front. Now the rear, I might not do. I got to see how difficult it is. I might take it to the dealer, but the fronts are very easy. And trust me, I'm not mechanically inclined or nothing, but you can see the shocks on my desk right here. Right, this is the rear shock, right? So I'm not going to touch that today. But here is the Elka Stage 2 shock, and here is the stock shock that I took off not too long ago. But the stock shocks, how can I put this? They're fine for like casual riding, but when you're riding like two up or pushing into those corners, they just don't give you that like planet feel. I talked about this on another video, and I'm looking for that planet feel or that confident feel, right? I already put the Baja Ron sway bar on, and that Baja Ron sway bar made a big improvement, right? And that helped reduce body roll, but if you just replace the Baja Ron and the sway bar links, the shocks are still the weak link in the setup. So that's why, I'm moving to the Elka Stage 2 shocks, and one of the biggest reasons, again, I'm starting to find myself riding two up more with my wife, and I can definitely feel the difference, especially in corners. But if you could just look at the Elka compared to the stock. These are a serious upgrade over the stock, But as you can see, the stock and the Elkas, they share a lot of the same components. But the Elkas, as you can see, are higher end components, definitely higher end components, right? And they're tuned specifically for the Spyder and the way you ride. So when you buy these, I got these from Le Monster Garage. Le Monster, they'll ask you, do you ride solo or do you ride two up? They'll also ask you, do you ride, what's the weight of you and your passenger, so they give you that information so they can adjust the shocks, not only to the Spyder, but to your weight. It's tuned specifically for you. That's one of the things that I really love about this, But the big difference that you'll notice by putting these shocks on, now I have a friend that has a 2024 RT Limited. He has the Baja Ron sway bar and he has the Elka Stage 2 shocks. And the biggest thing you'll notice, like with any shock upgrade, is handling, like stability and comfort, especially for like a long distance riding, right? These shocks are built to keep those like wheels planted, right? You want that planet on the ground feel, which means that you're getting more grip and less of that bouncing or floating feeling you get with the stock shock. And again, most people won't feel it, if you're just doing casual riding, but if you start doing two-up riding and touring and, going up twisties, you definitely feel the difference. And it's a more comfortable ride for sure, 100%. A stock shock, you have no adjustments. You have no, preload, which adjusts the height of the ride and the balance. You have no no rebound adjustments, right? So this is one of the reasons why, you can definitely tailor this shock to the way you ride, right? So again, the stock shocks do work. Again, I've been riding with them for a whole year. My ride's been comfortable, but I can tell you 100% these transform the ride, right? For example, you'll go from saying, this feels fine, to saying this thing is locked in and stable, and again, especially in the corners, it's one of the best upgrades you can do, in my opinion. And don't take my word for it. You can go to the Monster Garage site and look at the reviews. or you can go to other sites and, you know, see how many people upgraded their stock shocks, right? Definitely something that you want to look into doing. So now let's just go over here. You can see what I started doing. I'll record the other side, but this left-hand side, I didn't record it. I just want to make sure I knew what I was doing. Taking out the panels is very easy. This is very easy. You can watch videos on that. And I mean, here's the 3 different panels that I took off. That's very easy, right? And as you can see, my setup, I rode up on the ramps, right? And then I put a jack in the middle of the frame. If you look in the middle of on the bottom, you got a long metal bar running down the middle that you can use as a jack point. And the reason I jacked it up, you can see that my tires is a few inches off the jack ramp. That's so, let me show you. I had to do that to make it easy. Oops. Let me get this, sorry about that. I did that to make it easy to pull out the bolts, right? Like before I jacked it up, I took the bolt on the back end off, but I couldn't pull it straight out. So I jacked it up enough to relieve some of the pressure so I could just pull it straight out. Same thing with the top, right? And you can kind of see the bolt. Let me get in here. The camera, they're easy to get to. You know, the bolt is right behind this thing. It's right up in here. Very easy to get to. You can see it right there, right? And those are 15 millimeter bolts, right? And literally, you know, this is all I did, you know. It's very simple, man. I was real pleasantly surprised how easy it is to install these. Now, going to the back, I'm not sure. I got to look it up, you know, and depends on how much the dealer is going to charge me, you know. Other than that, you know, I know doing the back, you probably got to take these off. I'm not sure, but these are very easy. So, again, you need 15 millimeter bolt right here. Get that bolt off. Yeah, you just need a little, you know, I use car ramps, you know, jack up the middle. Even if you don't have the car ramps, you jack this up enough to take the pressure off the bolt so you can pull it out. Makes it easy. All right, so stay tuned, man. I'm gonna start working on the other side, right? And I'll show you some of my progress. I'm not gonna film the whole thing because, you know, as you can see, there's a lot of videos online. There's several. Le Monster has a good video on how to do this, and I just followed their guide, all right? So stay tuned. So I'm gonna install this other shop, then I'm gonna take it for a ride, and the proof is in the pudding. Thanks for tuning in, man. Stay tuned. If you like what you see, hit that like and subscribe, and stay tuned. I'll be right back. Fight with it a little bit, but pull it out. See? Bolt is in.